Right.
All right?
Yeah.
My thoughts are a travesty of justice has occurred in this township. This project was supposed to be unknown to any of us, and only because of the courage of a township employee did we have any idea that it was going to happen. In spite of our best efforts through the township system and through the county legal system, through the courts, we are still no further along. We still have the prospect of this building being put up literally with its drainage pond within feet of our property. There is total disregard for all of the neighbors. We were told at the township that don't worry about the water, the deepest well wins, and if yours dries up, oh well, that's the way it is. And when asking them to do mitigation things, such as putting in fans that reduce odors and reduce the dust, no, we're in an ag security zone. We don't need to do that. When told about things that could be spread on the manure to neutralize it, again, no, we don't, all of it is basically hidden behind so-called ag security, right to farm, and the acre law. And that is what we're looking at here.
Do you know, you just brought up the right to farm. Do you know who ALEC is? American Legislative Exchange Council?
No, I do not.
Okay. They were the ones, actually, who introduced the Right to Farm Act. A lot of the legislation with the environmental, and it's massive corporations. They've been doing a lot of this. A lot of our legislators, I think it's over 43 of our PA legislators are involved with ALEC. They wrote the Right to Farm law. And we've been putting pressure on. The majority of it is Republican. I think there were 4 Democratic legislators, and 3 have come off from people calling and emailing. And that's what people have to start doing again. I mean, this is a farming area. You are a farmer.
That is correct.
And in talking to your daughter, she said a lot of the farms here are very upset about this.
Very much so, yes. Many of the farmers in this area don't view containment building farming as farming at all. There are other farmers, more large scale than us, that have gone to the township meetings in opposition. And a question that I ask is, does one person's right to farm supersede another person's right to farm who will have to live with all of the things that a place like this would produce?
Right. And the community, how is, I know when this started in our community was totally, the moral fiber of the community was just destroyed because of, it divided, Some people thought it was a good idea, and most of those were people with authority in our township that were connected. And the rest of the community was pretty vocal in opposition, and literally it just divided the community beyond repair. It's still divided.
And that's pretty much the way things have played out in this township also. The current supervisors and planning commission, they pretty much act as one in support of this, whereas quite a few of the local people are very much against it. And it seems that some of the old-time farmers are basically afraid to speak out against it, that they support it just because they feel that they're supporting agriculture, quote unquote.
Right. And I heard a few of them took their leased land off contract with them?
That is correct. There were several landowners that did take their lands off contract. It totals more than 100 acres that were taken away from their control.
And I was saying, with the eggs, it's going to be an 80,000 flock that will be laying eggs for vaccines.
That is correct.
I said the truck traffic, I bet, is going to be unbelievable here.
Yes, it will. There will be at least 1 truck a day picking up the eggs. There will be probably 1 truck a day for the feed. They claim that themselves at the township. Then there will be the veterinarians who will have to keep the birds healthy. there will be whoever they have employed at the facility, aside from other regulators that will be involved with this and everything, such as FDA.
They did a study from Johns Hopkins Center for a Livable Future. The gentleman's name was Jay Graham, and he was working, doing some research with a woman in Pocomoke, a friend of mine, Carol Morrison, who was in Food Inc. And when he would come back to Baltimore City from the farm, he would notice that the flies were everywhere on his car in Baltimore. So it got him thinking. So they did this study about the flies carrying antibiotic-resistant pathogens, and they tested some items in the car. They were sanitized before. They followed a truck behind it coming out, and they picked up the antibiotic resistance on the items in the car. It was a huge study that they did probably maybe 2 years ago. But I thought, you know, just the spread of the pathogens, you know, coming out of this, and the dust, because I do live across from 100,000, the dust is unbelievable. I mean, there are days that I have to put my windshield wipers on just to get out of the driveway. Literally, you can see there, I did a video, and it was kind of by accident. My son was playing with bamboo outside, and he hit a bush that was right next to the road where they truck all the poultry litter to spread. And it looked like, you know, the smoke that came out in 9/11?
Yes.
Coming out of the, and I said, oh my God, that is going inside our lungs every day that we're here. And it's, I mean, literally, even inside the house, the dust is incredible. But the best thing, I think, is to get stories out like yours. This is happening. I know I had 3 calls this week from different communities in PA who are not happy. They're concerned, and they have every right to be concerned. And PA needs to step up, and the legislators need to step up. They need to revise Act 38.
That's right.
They have got to get health ordinances in here. Act 38 does not address pathogens, and it does not address health. The communities are not being protected.
That is
and municipalities can do this at a local level. But then we always run into conflicts. I hear one of your supervisors is also employed by the industry and had to recuse himself.
That is correct. He's employed by Highline, which is a multinational company that provides poultry to various producers all over the world.
And I am very upset. I saw Judge Kuhn's $70,000 bond on the appeal. That the community, in order to appeal this decision, somebody will have to put up $70,000, which they're very well aware that nobody has that kind of money.
And that is correct.
Judge Kuhn did not have to do that. And
no, he did
I
not.
am going to be starting a petition and getting signatures to email that, to mail it to him from not only this area, but from across the state, because this is affecting many, many different communities. And the legislators, they hear it over and over again. I know I've been to Harrisburg at least 3 years in a row, rallying and bringing this issue to their attention. They all agree it needs protections, but I don't see them happening.
No.
So.
No. So I think that's a good idea. They need to be aware that they shouldn't just try to take away people's due process by slapping a bond on them to prevent them from having, you know, their due recourse under the law.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for farming, and it's incredible, beautiful areas you have out here. And I saw some of the birds, a couple of them, and the beef cattle. So I hear you do some milking too. So these are our farmers, and this is who we wish to support and keep farming viable for. And that's another thing with this, is because it puts our farmers out of business.
That's right. We love our land.
Yeah,
we love it.
They are the stewards. Our real farmers are the stewards.
That's right. That's
true. This monocropping and all, it destroys the soil.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yes,
Do you
it
have
does.
dogs?